In this class, we are going to see the topic undecidable problem with recursive enumerable language, that is RE. So we know that the problem can be divided into two categories. One is decidable problem and the second one is undecidable problem. The word sense for decidable problem, the problem have some algorithm to receive an input and produce the output like either yes or no. But for undecidable problem, there is no algorithm for a particular problem to produce a solution that is either yes or no, which means we can't easily determine whether the problem having solution. But for a decidable problem, we can easily determine for a particular problem produce the particular solution either yes or no. So now we are going to see the undecidable problem with recursive enumerable language. So let us start with decidable language. So the decision problem P is said to be decidable, which means the decidable problem having an algorithm. If the language capital L for all S instant to a particular problem is decidable. Let us take some example. Consider the acceptance problem for a deterministic finite automata. We saw this acceptance problem in the first lecture of 5th unit. So for the first question is given DFA, does it accept a given word? So for this question, consider this is a problem. So for this problem, we can easily give the answer is either yes or no. In case if the DFA accepts some string or word, we can give the answer is yes. If the finite automata does not accept the particular input or word, then we can give the answer is no. Which means for this problem, we can easily decide the solution is either yes or no. That's why this problem or question is called as decidable problem or decidable language. Consider the second problem or second question. Given a DFA, does it accept any word? This is also the same concept. For this question, we can easily say the answer is either yes or no. Depends on the finite automata machine. The last question is given two DFAs, do they accept the same language? Similarly, by drawing the finite automata diagram or a transition table, we can say that the particular two deterministic finite automata either accept the same language or not. So for this question also we can easily answer either yes or no. That's why these are the three examples of the decision problem or decidable language or solvable language or solvable problem. So the second topic is undecidable language. So if there is some decidable for this language, means there is also undecidable language is there. So for undecidable means we can't have any algorithm to provide the solution. So the decision problem P is said to be undecidable if the language of all the instance to a particular problem P is not decidable, which means a language is undecidable if it is not decidable, right? So undecidable language may be partially decidable language, which means it has something else solution but it is not decidable. So if the language is not even partially decidable, then there exists no Turing machine to accept the given language. So this concept is called as undecidable language or undecidable problem. So what is partially decidable or otherwise it is called as semi-decidable language? In the word sense, we can give something else for a solution, but we can't decide the solution for a particular language or a problem. That is called as partially decidable or semi-decidable language. So a decision problem P is said to be semi-decidable, which means it have a semi-algorithm, partial algorithm to provide the solution. If the language L of for all instance to a particular problem P is recursive enumerable. So a language is partially decidable if the language is recursive enumerable but not recursive language. RE is recursive enumerable, REC is recursive language. So this is the overall concept of decidable language or decidable problem and undecidable language and undecidable problem. Undecidable language can also have some type that is partially decidable, which is otherwise called as semi-decidable language. Semi-decidable or partially decidable means it have some algorithm, semi-algorithm but for that partially decidable language we can't easily determine the solution, but the language having some semi algorithm. So let us see what is recursive language and what is recursive enumerable language. So a language is said to be recursive language if there exists a Turing machine which accepts the language. If the particular input string belongs to the language, then the Turing machine accepts the particular language. If the particular language does not belong to the input string, then the Turing machine rejects the input string, or it halt the Turing machine operation with the result of no. This is recursive language. So a language is said to be recursive if there exists a Turing machine which will accept all the strings in the particular language L and reject the strings which are not belongs to a language. A Turing machine will halt every time and give an answer either yes or no, that is accepted or rejected, for each and every single input of the particular language. A language L is decidable if it is a recursive language, which means the decidable language or a decidable problem is called as recursive language. All decidable languages are recursive languages and vice versa, reversive. If the language is recursive language, then it is decidable language. If the language is decidable language, then it is a recursive language. So what is recursive enumerable language? A language is said to be recursive enumerable if there exists a Turing machine which will accept all the input strings which are belong to a particular language, and it does not accept any input string which does not belong to the input language, which means if the particular input string does not belong to the language, then the Turing machine goes to the infinite loop. That means the Turing machine may or may not halt for all the input strings which are not in language. This is the main difference between recursive and recursive enumerable language. The difference is, for recursive language, the Turing machine should or must halt for all the input string, either the answer is yes or no. The Turing machine will halt for the answer is yes, and otherwise the Turing machine will halt for the answer is no. No means the input string is rejected by the particular Turing machine. But for recursive enumerable language, the Turing machine will halt only for all the input string which belongs to the particular language. If the particular input string does not belong to the language, then the Turing machine will not halt for the particular input strings which does not belong to the language. This is the main difference between recursive and recursive enumerable language. By the definition, all recursive languages are also recursive enumerable language, but not all recursive enumerable languages are recursive languages. So there is one way to solve decidable problems is by trying to reduce an known undecidable problem to the given problem. Consider there are two problems, one is P1 and another one is P2. By reducing the problem P1, which is known to everyone, which is undecidable problem P1, that is reduced to another problem, that is P2, which means we are trying to solve P1 by using the same algorithm used to solve P2. Consider there are two problem, one is P1. So P1 is undecidable, so we are trying to reduce that particular P1 undecidable problem to P2. So we are going to solve the problem P2 by using the algorithm which is used to solve the problem P1. So we can reduce an known undecidable problem P1 to a given problem P2. Then we can say that P2 is also undecidable because P1 is undecidable. So we solved the P2 problem by using the algorithm that is used by P1. So P1 is undecidable, so in default P2 is also undecidable. If P2 was decidable, then P1 would also be decidable. But there is some contradiction is there because we are assuming that P1 is undecidable. Consider some example for a decidable or undecidable problem. Given a Turing machine M the Turing machine is named as capital M, and we have to find out whether the state capital Q is ever reached when a string is entered in particular Turing machine. The problem is also known as state entry problem. So there is one Turing machine. So we have to check whether the particular state Q is never reached for a input string, for a particular input string. When the particular input string is reached to the Turing machine, the Turing machine never goes to the particular state Q. This problem is called a state entry problem. Now we are going to solve this undecidable problem. Consider the halting problem. So we are going to reduce the halting problem to the state entry problem, because all undecidable problems can be solved by the reduction of one problem into another problem. So we will start with the reducing the halting problem to the state entry problem. So a Turing machine only halt when the transition function is not defined. The transition function that takes the current state Qi and getting the input symbol A. So it is not, when it is not defined, then only the Turing machine halt. So we have to change every undefined function into, this is Qi and Qi comma A, it is not defined, which means it is undefined function. So this undefined function has to be changed into another function, that is Q comma A comma L or R. Q is a state that is indicated in the given problem. A is the current input symbol, and L or R, L is left rotation and R is right rotation or right move. Note that the state Q can only be reached when the Turing machine halt. We know the Turing machine halt with either yes or no for recursive language. Suppose we have some algorithm for solving the state entry problem, which will halt every time and whether the state Q can be reached or not. That is a decidable problem. So by telling this, we can or cannot reach the state Q at every time while the Turing machine will halt. It is this statement refers as the Turing machine will or will not halt at every time, because the state Q can or cannot reach at every time. That's why the Turing machine will or will not halt at every time. Similarly, the state can perform, but we know that this is not possible because the halting problem is undecidable. This means that our assumption that there exists an algorithm which solves the state entry problem that is reduced from the halting problem and halt in some point and give us an answer every time is false, which means it is rejected. Hence the state entry problem is undecidable. Undecidable means we can't get any algorithm for this state entry problem, and we can't easily determine whether this state entry problem having solution or not. That's why this state entry problem is undecidable. So this state entry problem is an example of undecidable problem. Consider the second example. Given two regular languages, one is L1 and another regular language is L2. It is the problem of finding whether the particular input string appeared in both L1 and L2, or it is decidable or not. So this is the question or problem. There are two regular languages, one is L1 and L2. So the problem here is there exists some input string W which exists or appeared in both language L1 and L2, which means it is decidable or not. Decidable means that problem having some solution with either yes or no. Decidable not means that is undecidable, which means the Turing machine will never halt when the input string W, which does not belong to any one of the input language. We are trying to solve this problem. First we make two Turing machines. The first Turing machine is named as TM1 and the second Turing machine is named as TM2, which means it simulates the DFAs of language, that is L1 and L2. Turing machine M1 simulate L1, Turing machine M2, TM2 simulates L2. We know that the finite automata halt so that the Turing machine simulating a DFA will also always halt. We enter the input string W in Turing machine 1 and Turing machine 2. Both Turing machine will halt and give the answer. Will give the answer as either yes or no. We can connect the output of the both Turing machine to a modified operator used, that is AND gate, which will output S only when both the Turing machine give answer is S. Because here we are using AND operator. The reason for we are using AND gate or AND operator is we have to check whether the input string is entered both L1 and L2. So the concept both means for both we are using here AND gate or AND operator. For AND operator, if both the output is S only, then the AND operation is S. If any one of the input is S or no, then the output is also getting no only. So the Turing machine give the answer S when the Turing machine will hold the output as S. Otherwise the output of the Turing machine is no, which means if the particular input string is accepted by both L1 and if the particular input string is present in both L1 and L2, then both L1 and L2 is accepted by the Turing machine, then only the Turing machine will give the answer as S. If any one of the language L1 and L2 does not accepted by the Turing machine, then the output produced by the Turing machine is no, because we are using the AND gate or AND operator. Since the system of two Turing machines and the AND gate will always stop, this problem is decidable problem. So this second example for decidable problem, the first problem is an example for undecidable problem, because for this second problem we can easily determine the solution, that is either S or no. This is the last point. If both languages accepted by the Turing machine, then only the Turing machine will halt. If any one of the languages does not accepted by the Turing machine, then the Turing machine give the output as no, which means we can easily determine the solution either S or no. That's why this is decidable problem. There is a lot of questions to be occurred in this topic. There is no universal algorithm to solve this problem. Most of the questions require unique and proof. Here is where experience is needed. By solving a lot of these problems, one can become very quick in coming up with proofs for these problems on this part. So the words language and problem can be used synonymously in theory of computation. For example, the halting problem can also be rewritten as language L is equal to M comma W. M is a Turing machine and W is a string, and this Turing machine halt on the input W when the particular input string belongs to the particular language. If the input string W does not belong to the language, then the Turing machine will never halt for recursive enumerable language. For recursive language, the Turing machine will always halt if the input string does not belong to the language also. So you can clearly understand the concept by this diagram. The leftmost diagram represents the decidable language and the rightmost circle represents the undecidable language. Undecidable language means the Turing machine cannot be decidable. Decidable means the Turing machine always halt, but for undecidable language the Turing machine halt only for if the input string belongs to the language only. If the input string does not belong to the language, then the Turing machine will never halt for undecidable language. So for both presence in the intermediate circle represents semi-decidable or partial decidable language, which means here the Turing machine may or may not halt. So the first circle represents the Turing machine should halt for all the input string. The right circle represents the Turing machine never halt for all the input strings which does not belong to the language. The intermediate circle represents the Turing machine may or may not halt, that is depends on the input string which belongs to the language or which does not belong to the language. So from this lecture we can easily answer for what is decidable problem, what is solvable or what is unsolvable problem. Decidable problem is otherwise called as solvable problem, and what is recursive language and what is recursive enumerable language and what is Turing machine.